Module 2, Topic 2, we are in Lesson 5. What's the point? Writing and graphing linear equations. We've actually already started the writing part of the linear equations. Now we're going to be doing a little bit more graphing on this. So write an equation for the linear relationship. The contestant on the game show had already won a total of $2,750 when he continued today. He earned additional $250 for each question he answered correctly. So this is the slope, because that's the part that changes. This number starting off today, that's where we're starting off. So that is my y-intercept. So remember, our equation is y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to replace the slope with 250. Then I have an x, and then I plug in my y-intercept, and that is my equation of the line. Over here, we are going to write the equation. Okay. So notice how we can't really tell where that's going through. So we don't have the y value. So I need 2 points. So this point right here, that's going to be, this is 1, 2, 3. So that's the point 3. That's 40. So this is 10, 20, 30, 330. And then, we have this point down here. That's the point 90. So I'm going to find my slope. I have a little triangle right here. So if I'm looking at my y values, I'm going from down here from 0 to 30. So that's up 30. Then I'm going from 3 to 9. So that is going, and this is going down. So that's negative 30. From 3 to 9 is 6. So I have my slope is going to be negative 30 over 6. So my slope is negative 5. Now remember, we have the equation y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to pick this point right here and the slope right here, and I'm going to plug it in. So 0 equals my slope of negative 5. My x value is 9 plus b. So 0 equals negative 45 plus b. So I add 45 to both sides, and I get 45 is equal to b. So now I can write my equation, y equals negative 5x plus 45. Love how I barely fit that in. Okay, so let's go to this next page. Sorry about that. So when we go to this next page, we're going to be talking about draining the pool. Now, before we even start doing this, let's think about draining the pool. Draining means I started at this level, right? Oops. Okay, did that for me. I didn't want it to do that. How about we do this? I have that kind of pool. I don't know. And it's right here. And then the water's going to go down. So it's leaving it. There's no longer going to be water in it. So that means that the water level is going down. So my slope on this is going to be negative. Just remember that. So Kelsey and Kevin are pool cleaners who must drain the community diving pool at the end of the summer. They compare the rate at which the two pools drain. Okay, so for each pool, write an equation to represent the linear relationship. So the Cityscape diving pool is at a water level of 14 feet. So starting off, so at the very beginning, the pool is at 14 feet. Okay, this is 14 feet. That's where the water's at. Okay, and it has a rate of 3 feet per hour. So my slope, remember we're draining, so it's going to be -3. And where we're starting off at 0 time is at 14 feet. So I write an equation, -3x plus 14. Okay, this next one, Bayside is at a water level of 15 feet after draining for 2 hours. So that means at 2 hours, it's at 15 feet. And at 12 feet after 4 hours. Okay, so that means I have to find my slope first of all. So let's find our slope. So we remember it's automatically subtraction. So I'm going to change the color just so that we can see this. So I'm going to subtract these two numbers right here. So 15 minus 12. Then I'm going to subtract these two right here. So I did 15 first, so 2 has to come first here. So my slope is 3 over -2. Okay, so -1.5 or -3 over 2. Now, we need to find the y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to pick one of the 2 points that are over here. I'm just going to go ahead and pick this one. Y, I don't know. I'm just going to pick it because my y value is 12. My m value is -3 over 2. My x value is 4 plus b. Remember, 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. 2 goes into 4 2 times, so I have 12 equals -4 plus b. I add 4 to both sides, and I get 16 equals b. But that's not what it asked for. It just, oh yeah, it wants the equation of the line. Okay, I'm fine. So my slope was -3 over 2x plus 16. Okay, what information do you have in each scenario? So the first one, we were given, this is what we were given. We were given both the slope and the y-intercept. Intercept. On this one, I don't know why I put it in parentheses, but I did. On this scenario, what were we given? We were given 2 points. Okay, so on the first one, we just plugged it in. On the second one, we had to find the slope and then find the y-intercept in order to do the problem. Okay, so here we go. Using the y-slope-intercept form, you have learned how to determine the slope and the y-intercept for a linear equation from a table, graph, or context. You have written equations of the form y equals mx plus b, which represents every point x and y on the graph, or the slope m that passes through the point 0b. This is what is called the slope-intercept form, and we've been calling it that. Okay. This just explains how we get this. We're just going to come down here. We're going to remember it's y equals mx plus b. And all we do is replace the m and replace the b. So y equals -2x plus 5. Y equals 10x plus 25. Y equals 3 over 2x minus 1. Y equals -5 over 2x plus 3. So if you notice, the m is always the number that goes in front of the x. The y-intercept, remember, it has to have a 0. In order to be the y-intercept, it has a 0 for the x value. So then you just plug in the y-intercept in for the constant. Okay. So you learned that a sequence of repeated vertical and horizontal translations move the point along the graph. Okay, so we move things up and down. So these are our steps. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to plot the y-intercept. Then we're going to use the slope, count from the y-intercept to graph 2 more points on the line. Use a straight edge. Now, the one thing that I'm going to comment on there is I always like to say, when you're finding slope, decide whether or not it's going to be puff, puff, positive, nice, negative, a zero slope, or an undefined slope. Okay? So we're going to come down here. Okay? Here we go. The very first thing, y-intercept. Okay? Y-intercept is the lone number. So that's the point 0.025. Second thing, we need to decide what the slope is. Well, the slope is right here. Is it positive or negative? It's positive, so that means my line must go this direction, and it's the number 5. Now, I would tell you to write that as a fraction, so that's 5/1. So we're going to go up 5. We're going to go to the right 1. So we're going to come up here to 25, which is right here. We're going to go up 5. So, guys, look at this. This dark line right here, that's 5. This is another 5. This is another 5. 20 is a 5. This is a 25. So if I'm going to go up 5, that means I'm coming up here to 30. And I'm going to go over 1. So let's look at this. This is 1, 2, 3. So these lines are going by ones. So when I go over 1, I'm going to put a point right there. Again, I'm going to do it again. So I go up 5, I go over 1. I go up 5, I go over 1. Now, could I have gone down 5 and over 1? Sure thing. Down 5, over 1. Down 5, over 1. Down 5, over 1. Down 5, over 1. It doesn't matter. Okay? Now, you just connect the dots with the straight edge. Oh, that was horrible. Horrible. See if I can do better with this one. There we go. And there we have it. So on this next one, I'll pick a different color. So my y-intercept, it's the number that stands alone. So that's 0, -1. So I'm going to plot that point. It's right here. And you might want to look and see what these are going up by. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So things are going by ones. You don't need to have it there, but you do need to notice that. Okay? So my slope on this, okay, it is a puff, puff positive, and it is 3/2. So that means I'm going to go up 3. I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to go to the right 2. So from this point, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go over 2 and draw a point. I'm going to go up 3. I'm going to go over 2. I'm going to go up 3. I'm going to go over 2. Can't go up 3, but I could go backwards. I can go from the y-intercept. I can go down 3. 1, 2, 3. And over 2. Down 3. 1, 2, 3. Over 2. Down 3. 1, 2, 3. Over 2. And then draw a line that goes through each one of these. And voila. Okay. So then I come down here. And this tells me that my y-intercept is 0, 3. Let's come down here. Those are going up by ones. Good. So this is 0, 3 right here. So we're going to plot that point. Then my slope on this, look at this, that has a negative. So this is going to be nice negative. It's going to go downwards. And it's negative 5 over 2. So it's going to go down 5 and to the right 2. So from here, I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to the right 2. How did I know it was to the right? Because it needs to go downhill. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. Can't go down 5, but I could go up 5 from the y-intercept. If I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just have to make sure I go to the left 2. Because if you notice, it is going, the line is going in the negative direction. Okay. Awesome. Then write an equation for each problem, then graph each equation. So here we go. Avery wants to buy a virtual reality set. He already has $30 saved. So already has. That means that's where we're starting at. We already have $30. So at zero amount of time, we already have $30. And plans to mow lawns for 15. Ooh, I did not mean to do that. I meant to do this. $15 each. So that is my slope, is 15 or 15 over 1. Okay, so that's positive. So it's going in this direction. Okay, so now we have to decide what are we going up by. So it needs to have at least a 15 and a 30 in it. So I'm going to say we're going to go up by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Sorry about that. 45. Then on the bottom, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Really? 9 is an even number? I don't know what I was doing there. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm really not going to need all those numbers. Now, could I have done different numbers? Sure. I'm starting at 30. I'm going up. Oh, it's just going to go to here. That's not very pretty. So how about I change the numbers? And let's see what happens if I change the numbers. I'm going to keep the bottom numbers like that. But I'm going to start with this being 15. This is 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120. There we go. Look at that. That'll be better. So 0, 30 is here. And it's going up. Every dark mark is going up 15. So I go up 1, over 1. Or up 2, over 1. Because it's up 15, over 1, up 15, over 1, up 15, over 1, up 15, over 1. And that looks even better. Now, am I totally finished with this? No, because I really should be labeling. So this down here are lawns mowed, total saved. Okay. Oh, look right there. I didn't even see that. It says label axes. Okay. Jasmine accidentally hit a golf ball through a neighbor's window. To replace the $150 window, she pays her neighbor $10 of her tutoring earnings each week. Okay, pays. That means she's giving away money. Okay? She's not giving away, she has to pay for it. Okay? So, total amount owed. And then down here, number of tutoring no, it's not number of tutoring. It's number of weeks. I have to read the whole question. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Do I want to do that or do I want to do 2, 4? I don't know. Hold on. So we're starting off at $150 that's owed. And it's $10 per week. So it's -10. The amount is getting less. So let's see. I'm going to go up by 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. Oh, really? 90 is not 100. 120, 130, 140. And so this would be 150. Okay, so $10. This is my slope. So it's going down 10 and over 1. So down 10 over 1. Down 10 over 1. Down 10 over 1. Oops. That was not over 1. That was over. Oh, come on. Here. Down 10 over 1. If you notice, that's not going to hit on there. So I need to make it so that it's better. So these should be going by 2s down here. So this, it's really going by 1s. But the dark lines, again, I don't know what my problem is. Okay, so down 10 over 1. Down 10 over 1. Down 10 over 1. Down 10 over 1. I'm going to make it bigger. Down 10 over 1. Down 1. Down 10 over 1. Down 10 over 1. Down 10 over 1. Look at this. Much better. Okay. There we go. Now, how come I don't have arrows on it? Because number of weeks is never going to be negative. And money amount, it's not going to go past that because at this point you owe that amount of money or you don't owe any more money. So there we go. Okay. So, we were supposed to write an equation. So up here, it was 15x plus 30. Down here, we subtracted 10 each week and we started at 150. Okay, we are not going to do it like this one. We are not going to do it like this. But we can do it like we did before. We did learn this before, and we, instead of using point slope, we use this. So we can find the slope by doing this. So if I have these 2 points, I have the point 35, 102, and I have 42, and I have 20. Now, when I do this, I go down. Let's see, I'm going down, so that's negative. So I'm going to do 20, and I'm going to subtract 102, and that would be 80, negative 82. This one right here, 42 minus 35 is Can get me 7. So my slope is negative 82 over 7. Really? Did I mess that up? Minus 102. 42 minus 35. 7. Well, that's ugly. Okay. So that's my slope, and I'm going to pick, I don't care, I'm going to pick this point, whatever. So I'm going to replace the y with 102. I'm going to replace the slope with negative 82 over 7. That is such an ugly number. I'm going to replace the x with 35 plus b. So I have 102 equals 7 goes into 35 5 times. So I take negative 82 and I multiply that by 5. And I get negative 410. Oops. Come on. 10 plus b. So I add the 410 to both sides. And I get 512 is equal to b. So my equation here would be negative 82 over 7x plus 512. So you can do it. This one, all of the y values are the same. So my equation is y equals negative 6. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to come over here. Writing equations of the line. Okay, it's basically what we just did. Okay, first things first. You have to find the slope. Okay, so what m equals. I start off, I subtract. I'm going to change the color just so that you can see it. So I'm going to take negative 35 and I'm going to subtract 19. I took these two numbers and I subtracted them. Then I'm going to take these two numbers and I'm going to subtract them. So 0 minus 6. So when I do that, I'm going to find my slope to be negative 54 over negative 6. That would get me 9. This is my y-intercept. So y equals 9x minus 35. Okay. Then the next, just making it bigger. So I need to find my slope. I'm going to subtract my y values. So 13 minus negative 2. I'm going to subtract my x values. Negative 3 minus 6. So this turns to a plus sign, so that gets me 15. That would get me negative 9 on the bottom. So that would get me negative 5/3. So then the next thing I have to do is I have to find my y-intercept, which point I'm going to use this point right here. So my y value is negative 2. My m value is negative 5/3. My x value is 6 plus b. So negative 2 equals 3 goes into 6 2 times. So I get negative 10 plus b. I add 10 to both sides and I get 8 equals b. So y equals negative 5/3 x plus 8. Okay, slope and y-intercept. These are the easy ones. 6.2x minus 3. Oops, not even 3. I don't know where I got 3 from. Okay, then down here, we have to find our slope. From here to here, we're going down. How much are we going down? We're going down by 16. Here, we're going up by 20. So my slope on this is negative 16 over 20. So that would be negative 4/5. Then Pick a point. I don't know. I'm going to pick this point right here. Why? I don't know. Because I wanted to. So my y value is 8, negative 4/5. My x value is 80 plus b. 5 goes into 80. Let's see. 5 goes in one time. 16. 8 equals negative 64 plus b. I add 64 to both sides. And I get 72 is equal to b. Is that right? Did I mess that up? I did mess that up. It should be between 80 and 100. I did something wrong. Let me use my calculator. So 24 minus 40. I got that right. And 60 minus 40 is 20. So negative 16 over 20. I divided that and got, okay, that's part's right. Okay, so 80 divided by 5 is 16. Oh, okay, I'm fine. Y equals negative 4/5 x plus 72. I was looking at the wrong thing. That's why. Okay, so then next I'm going to look over here. Javi regularly checks his balance on his bus pass. Friday afternoon, his balance was this. Monday morning, his balance was this. So if Friday, this was his balance, and Saturday was day 1, Sunday was day 2, Monday was day 3, he's at $1.50. So I'm going to subtract these. So $26.25 minus $1.50 over 0 minus 3. When I do that, $26.25 minus $1.50, $1.50, I would get $24.75 over negative 3. I would get my slope is negative $8.25. Okay. And my y-intercept is that, so negative 8.25x plus 26.25. Awesome. Horizontal and vertical lines. Now, we've already talked about a lot of things with horizontal lines and vertical lines. We've talked about the fact that if it's a horizontal line, it has a 0 slope. But we also talked about that it's y equals a number. Okay? Then we talked about vertical lines. And that is an undefined slope. And it's x equals a number. So let's look at this. It says horizontal and vertical lines represent relationships, but their equations are different from the equations of the lines that are not horizontal or vertical. Okay? So, consider the equation y equals negative 6 that you wrote for the table shown in equation 8, activity 2. This one right here. How is the equation different from the other equations? Well, if I have y equals mx plus b, if I look at this, okay, from here to here, that's 0. From here to here, that is 6. So my slope on this was 0 over 6, so that's 0. Okay, so my slope is 0. You only have a y on this one. How come? Because if I plug in 0 here and I multiply that by x, 0 times x is 0. So what is different? You do not have an x. Okay? Describe the graph. Okay. If I was to graph this, I have -5, oops. I have -5, -6. I have 1, -6. I have 2, -6. What happens here? You have a horizontal line. Okay. When you subtract the same number, you get 0. Oops, 0. Okay. Write an equation for this one. Does the graph describe the graph of the linear relationship? So all of the y values are exactly the same. So it's y equals 11. So that gives me a horizontal line. Okay, if I look at this, the y values are exactly the same. So the y value is going to be this. Gives me a horizontal line. Okay, now I'm going to look at this one. My x values are exactly the same. So when I do this, this goes up by, why can't I add? That goes up by 9. I subtract that, 0. So 9 over 0, that gets me undefined. Okay, that gets me undefined. Oops, that's supposed to go there. Okay, all the x's are the same. All the x's are the same. Describe the graph of this linear relationship. It's a vertical line. It is x equals -2 because x is the same every single time. No y-intercept. Because it doesn't go through the y-axis. Okay, so here, look here, all of them are the same. So it's x equals 17 over 2. If I look here, the x's are the same. X equals -7. These are both vertical lines. Okay. What information? The slope is 3 over 5. The y-intercept, 0, -4. We didn't talk about that one. We did talk about this one. Slope, -2/7. There's nothing added, so it's 0, 0. We did kind of talk about this on another day where we subtract the y, or subtract the 4, and we get 2x minus 4. So my slope is 2. My y-intercept is 0, -4. We did not talk about that one, but we did talk about this one. Anytime it's y equals a number, it is a horizontal line, so it has a 0 slope with a y-intercept of 0, 19. Okay, and that's your... Okay.